one of the greatest manifestations of the presence of God. The bush that burned with glory, a voice that spoke to Moses, and the revelation of God's name. I am that I am. I will be who I will be. This wonderful, impenetrable revelation of the majesty of God. Calling Moses by name. What a tremendous opportunity. What a dawning of a new day. It's so staggering that the next chapter begins, what if they won't believe me? You think, come on, Moses. God has revealed himself. God's called you. What's wrong with you? You know, so many of us, when God begins to initiate some new thing in our lives, it doesn't always meet with a positive response. We're not always saying, yeah, let's go. Why is that? Well, because what had happened to Moses before. And that's how it often is for us. We feel a fresh call, but, you know, our page is not a blank page to write on. It's got all kinds of crossings out. It's got all sorts of mess on it. You know, we've got some history. We've had previous experiences. And so when a fresh initiative comes, very often we hold back. We're not sure. And Moses has to be called out of this. This is a wonderful chapter which begins with his being reluctant and ends with him being released from all his past and all that held him down. I wonder if there are things that hold you down, things that make you reluctant to make a fresh start. For Moses, part of it was he tried to help his brothers before and they refused him. I wonder how many times it went through his mind. 40 years wandering around a desert that he thought, well, I tried to help them. They were my brothers. They should have stood by me. I've lost everything. I've given up the palace. I tried to help them and they let me down. You know, many of us live with things that have happened to us. I think there's a note of bitterness in Moses' heart. They let me down. Maybe you've got some bitterness in your heart. Maybe things you need to forgive. You know, sometimes we feel, no, I'm in power if I don't forgive. It's I've got hold of this. No. While you're not forgiving, you're actually a slave to that. It's you who's in chains. Forgiveness, I know it's huge when you feel sometimes, well, I think he promised me and he let me down. Maybe a hoped for engagement, maybe a business deal, maybe some terrible things your parents did to you. You think they should have done better. We sometimes carry a heavy burden of wounding and not forgiving. Let me encourage you today. Will you let go? Will you say, okay, I will forgive? We're children of God. We've been forgiven so much. Jesus can set you free to forgive. Then you can go into the life that God wants you to live. While you're in the chains of unforgiveness, you can't really move forward. Moses had to be drawn out of that, and he was. You can be too. Let go. Forgive. Let them off by the grace of God.